So hello, thank you very much for inviting us here today. I'm Roanne Morre Loizides and I'm the Marketing and Fundraising Manager for the Mary Howe Trust for Cancer Prevention. I'll give you some background to the Trust and show how, with the help of our supporters, we're able to give people a healthier future.
I'm Beverly Richards, one of the health screening nurses with the Mary Howe Trust. I will talk a little bit about the health screening we offer and a few case studies.
We've just heard Jane and all the other speakers today talk so eloquently about optimum health, and this is what we're all about. We're a small charity and we provide free health screenings and healthy lifestyle advice. Our aim is to spot the early signs of cancer and other life-threatening diseases before there are symptoms, and this year we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. So the Trust was founded in memory of Mary Howe, who died at the age of 46 from bowel cancer. An earlier detection of the disease could have saved her life. Mary's family set up the Trust to make a simple bowel cancer test available to as many people as possible. And since then, we've expanded the range of tests that we offer, and Beverly will go into more detail about that. But we're looking for the early signs of prostate cancer, kidney cancer, diabetes, heart disease, many other things. We still have a strong connection to Mary's family, and her son is on our board of trustees. We also have a strong connection to the communities that we serve, and that means so much to us. Our healthy living message spreads from our individual clients to their families and out to the wider community, and we firmly believe that health screening is an important stop on the roadmap to health. So this is a story that really shows what we're here for. This is John Peters with his grandson Alfie. Oh, and just a note about the other case studies that we'll mention. At their request and to protect privacy, we have changed names and photos, but this is John, and that's Alfie. And John and his wife Prue came to visit us last year and had a health screening, and they both felt fit and well. John's results showed that there were some abnormalities, and so we referred him to his GP. And 3 months after his visit to us, John was at home recovering from an operation to remove a primary colon cancer, and he'd started treatment for a primary prostate cancer. John's prognosis is excellent, and he's doing brilliantly, actually, and it looks as if both cancers were caught before they had spread, and it's very good news. And John's wife, Prue, told us, "This news has been shocking and has changed our lives, but the outcome, had we not had a health screening, is unthinkable."
So the Mary Howe Trust is independent of the NHS, and as Roanne says, we're completely dependent on donations and generous offers. We were recently inspected by the Care Quality Commission and successfully passed all 5 essential standards they were checking for. We are open to anyone over the age of 18, no upper age limit, regardless of where anybody lives. We have a strict guideline of clinical protocols, which we regularly review and update in line with current legislation, which is overseen by our medical trustee. The visit is comprised of 2 visits. One to see the health screening nurse, which is a 45-minute consultation, and also we have a trained ultrasonographer on site that offers an ultrasound to all ladies and men over the age of 50. On arrival at the Trust, we have volunteer receptionists who greet the clients to our place. They try and relax people, try and make them feel comfortable, often relaxing music playing in the background. Also on site, we're lucky to have our own laboratory, and we have our own technician that comes in every day to analyse the blood results that we have taken. Each client receives a full set of all the blood tests that they have taken and all the information that we've discussed during their assessment with us. With their agreement, the results are sent to the GP, but if they don't wish that to happen, then it purely just comes to the client. Included within the nurse consultation, which is a 45-minute appointment, which a lot of clients feel very happy to have that amount of time. Each client is sent a fecal occult blood test prior to coming to us, which we would test on site and give them the results. We also do the basic things like urinalysis. We ask all our clients to fast so that we can do accurate cholesterol testing and glucose testing, as well as full blood count and urea and electrolytes. For men over the age of 45, we would also offer a PSA test with information to back up why PSA testing can be inaccurate as well, so that they make an informed decision on having that blood test. We very much spend a lot of time talking about their family history, whether they've got any increased risk within their family that they need to consider. A lot of time talking about their lifestyle, what their diet's like, how much they're exercising, smoking, alcohol intake as relevant. We'd also discuss with them, depending on what their lifestyle is like, whether there's any further investigations that we would recommend following their visit to us. We also look at height, weight, would work out their BMI, and would do a cardiovascular risk assessment with that and with the blood results that we would get back from them. As I mentioned before, we have a trained ultrasonographer on site, which with men over 50 will be offered an abdominal aortic aneurysm screening, and all ladies are offered an ultrasound of their soft tissue organs, looking at things including their spleen, liver, kidneys, ovaries. A few facts and figures. We tend to screen approximately 1,000 clients every year. As you'll see, about 2/3 of these are made up of women and 1/3 men. But certainly over the last couple of years, we're seeing more and more men coming and taking up the service that we offer, and a lot more younger people as well. Last year, the average age was between 60 to 70, but again, a lot more younger people coming to see us. Out of the 1,000 people that we screened last year, 164 of those we referred on to their GP, and approximately half of these required further investigation or treatment. Everybody that we refer to the GP, we always follow up with a phone call about 3 or 4 months later to see what the outcome of their visit was. And we find that approximately 1/3 with abnormal blood results do go on to make lifestyle changes themselves and not require further medical intervention. But with finding out early enough that they've got things like, say, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, they can take things on board and try and make healthy lifestyle changes themselves, which is very much obviously what we're trying to advocate. This is another case study. This is a gentleman, Mr. Glover, who came to us without any symptoms whatsoever, decided to have his PSA blood test checked, which was found to be raised, and went on to be diagnosed with the early stages of prostate cancer. And he said, "I'm very grateful to the Mary Howe Trust, as I had no idea there was a problem." Mrs. Bell was a lady who was very surprised to find out that she had a high cholesterol. She was very reluctant to have to go on statins, and very wisely took the choice to try and increase her exercise, reduce her fat intake, and was able to control her cholesterol by herself. And she said, "I feel much better. This was my wake-up call." And she thought prior to that she was actually having quite a healthy lifestyle.
This is Mrs. Britton. When she came for her Mary Howe Trust health screening, she felt in the best of health, she told us. She was newly retired, a little overweight, but hadn't needed to visit the doctor for years. We referred her to her GP, however, because there were some abnormalities in her test results. She had very high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and her scan showed that there were signs of a cancerous condition in her womb. So we referred her to her GP, and within a very short amount of time, she'd had an urgent hysterectomy and ongoing changes to her diet and exercise. We've heard a lot about that today. She's proof that it really does help. And she told us, without the screening, I might not have been around to enjoy my 4 grandchildren. Many, many thanks to the Mary Howe Trust.
Mr. Carter was a gentleman who in fact came back recently for repeat screening. But 3 years ago when he came to us, he was found on ultrasound to have a very rare but very aggressive form of kidney cancer. With it being diagnosed very early, he was able to go on and have just a partial removal of his kidney, so not even a full nephrectomy. Again, was completely asymptomatic at the time, is now doing very well and just having annual ultrasounds with his hospital to check for the kidney. But again, said I feel I've been very lucky as it was picked up before there were any symptoms. And Mr. Hamble was a gentleman that would not have been eligible for NHS aorta aneurysm screening in his mid-50s, but again on ultrasound was found that he did have an enlarged aneurysm, which is being closely monitored. And again said it was the best thing I ever did coming to you.
So fundraising is an important part of my job. We don't charge a fee because we want to encourage people to look after their health regardless of their ability to pay. We receive no funding from the NHS, completely independent, and every health screening we provide costs us £220. If our clients can donate, then it means we're able to continue providing our clinics. Fundraising, grants, gifts in wills, donations and so on also help to sustain our service. And we're blessed with wonderful support from local businesses and from groups such as Lions clubs, Rotary groups and so on and so forth. We also have a popular charity shop, I should add. We do keep a very tight lid on costs, but you know, health screening is expensive. For example, the phlebotomy chair on the right there cost over £1,000, and the Chanctonbury Lions held a book fair to raise the money for it, and were able to purchase this for us. Recently, they also raised £650, which enabled us to purchase the sonographer chair and also a printer for our PSA diagnostic machine. So their sort of fundraising helps to keep us going, and it's marvellous. And this is just a snapshot of our wonderful supporters in action. They're just brilliant. Couldn't do it without them. And they are helping people from all walks of life, regardless of income, to benefit from preventative health screening. Thank you. 2 words that I think are about the most important in the lexicon of any charity. Can't say thank you enough. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to thank Larry and everyone at Together Against Cancer for their support. They're helping us to continue providing our clinics to people from all over the country and further afield. And also you give us huge moral support. We're very proud to be connected with an organisation like Together Against Cancer. And I can say really, together we're transforming lives. So thank you. Thank you very much for listening. We wanted to keep this brief because we know it's a long day. But if you have any questions, please, we hope we can answer them for you.
I've just got one thing to say. I remember being in your little old bus
Yes.
in Stemming. They used to go around with all this equipment in an old bus and park in car parks. And I was there with a friend, and when I was sitting there waiting for her, somebody came up and just put their head in the door of the bus and said, "Thank you very much, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you." And that was the point when I said we'd raise some money for you.
Thank you. And Francis raises money for us every year and other cancer charities, and we were so thrilled to see you here today. So thank you very much.